The engines were humming, seatbelts clicked. But just as the cabin lights dimmed, a tall black man rose from his seat and walked without a word toward the cockpit. A ripple of unease moved through the passengers. Whispers, glances, confusion. Then, the unexpected. The pilot emerged, flanked by security. Moments later, the announcement came, "This flight is canceled." Gasps echoed. The woman in designer heels froze. Her smugness drained as she realized the man she had insulted wasn't just a passenger. This is the fallout of unchecked arrogance. Where are you watching from? Comment on your city below. Miles Carter was no ordinary man, a self-made tech CEO. He'd risen from poverty to run one of the top cybersecurity firms in the world. Polished suits, discreet wealth, and a calm demeanor were his trademarks. Today, he looked just like any other traveler boarding pass in hand, dressed in simple jeans and a hoodie. Choosing to fly economy like he always did. At gate B12, passengers lined up for boarding. Among them was a sharply dressed white woman, her perfume trailing behind her. As they entered the plane, she swiftly claimed her window seat and the aisle seat too by placing her designer handbag in it, ignoring the boarding pass of anyone else. When Miles reached his assigned seat next to her, he paused. She didn't look up, didn't acknowledge him, adjusted her sunglasses and scrolled through her phone. It's as if his presence didn't deserve recognition. Something was about to shift, drastically. Miles stood for a moment, quietly gesturing to the seat. The woman finally glanced at him, cold, dismissive, and said, without emotion, "This seat is taken." Her tone was laced with superiority, as if any further explanation was beneath her. Other passengers pretended not to notice, but their sideways glances said otherwise. A flight attendant approached. "Ma'am, may I check your boarding pass?" She waved it off with a smirk. "I paid for extra comfort. I'm not moving." The attendant hesitated. Rules were rules, but entitlement spoke louder. And Miles, he didn't argue. He simply nodded and stepped aside. He stood near the restroom as the plane finished boarding. Conversations hummed. Overhead bins clicked shut, but beneath the calm, a storm brewed. The flight crew whispered among themselves, unsure of what to do. The woman reclined her seat, smiling as though she'd won a private battle. She didn't realize that the man she had dismissed was not just a passenger. He was the reason half the business-class travelers had shown up: investors, partners, and engineers invited for a mid-air tech strategy meeting. And this flight, it had been privately chartered through his company. The captain had no idea who she'd just disrespected. Miles padded to the front. And that's when everything began to unravel. Miles leaned toward the captain and whispered something. Within seconds, the atmosphere shifted. The cockpit door opened. The pilot stepped out, visibly pale. A flight supervisor appeared. The intercom came alive with the chilling announcement. "Due to unforeseen circumstances, this flight has been canceled. Please disembark immediately." Panic rippled through the cabin. The woman bolted upright, indignant. "This is outrageous." She snapped until security approached her directly. "You've been removed from this flight by request of the chartering executive," they informed her. Only then did she look at Miles, really look at him. Her jaw dropped. She stammered, but he said nothing. She wasn't just removed. She was blacklisted, banned from the airline indefinitely. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. Miles never said a word to her. He didn't need to. The truth had spoken for itself. The woman's arrogance, the belief that wealth, whiteness, or appearance defined importance, collapsed in one humiliating moment. The flight crew was suspended. A formal investigation was launched. But the deeper wound wasn't procedural. It was cultural. Too often, respect is given based on assumption, not merit. Too many are silenced or sidelined because of skin tone or simplicity of dress. Miles returned to his work, undisturbed. He had nothing to prove. But the lesson hung in the air. You never know who you're disrespecting. And sometimes, the quietest man in the room holds the most power. How many more moments like this must happen before society learns to see beyond the surface? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.